Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the challenge. I am so glad to be here with you guys. And so I have another video for you, and I'm really excited reading through the comments. And I read a comment this morning that said, wow, I'm really starting to understand this meditation thing. So I'm really excited about that. When those light bulbs come on, or we get enough information so that things begin to make better sense, then that can just really catapult us to a whole nother level. So in this video, I want to ask you an important question that I believe will help you to catapult your results. So before I ask, I have two questions. So my first question I have for you is, do you have any friends that might be struggling in a specific area, and they'll come to you and they'll just complain about it, and then you'll give them some really good sound advice, and they'll listen and they'll appreciate it, but it's not too much later that they come back and they're complaining about the same thing over and over again. And it's like that good advice you gave them just went out the window, and you're like thinking, do you really want help with this problem? I had, many years ago, I had a girlfriend who started dating this guy, and everything was really nice for about the first couple months. And then literally, he started really treating her, I feel like, less than she deserved. And I would just tell her, you can do so much better than this. You deserve so much better than this. And literally, this went on for 5 years. Every time we had a conversation, she would complain about this guy. And at some point, I just said, let's just not talk about this anymore, because obviously you just like to suffer. Because you won't do anything about it, and you won't take responsibility that you're allowing someone to treat you poorly. Well, we probably all have our areas where we are not listening to some sound advice because we're getting some kind of payoff for staying in that bad behavior. So one of the things, let's go to scripture here for a minute. So if you look at all the times where Jesus, because one of the things the Bible says that Jesus came to heal. He went around walking about to heal those that were suffering. And so anytime Jesus came upon someone to heal them, he always asked them a question. He always said, do you want to be made whole? And you think, well, that's kind of an odd question. Of course they want to be made whole, but not necessarily so, because there's a lot of payoff to staying stuck. So some of the things, so what could be some of those payoffs? Well, sometimes we can use it to control and manipulate people. Another thing that we can do that happens is these becomes our identity. So if I lose this identity of being a complainer, or having this illness, or this or that, then what am I going to replace that with? We don't know. It's like, there's going to be like this void there. It's me, and I just don't know how to deal with that. I don't know how to do that. And another thing is, a lot of times we get a lot of attention or sympathy. I read this story one time about a woman who had cancer, and while she was going through the cancer, her husband was so nice to her, and he would be doing all these things for her. And then the cancer went away. She got healed. The cancer went away. And so did all that all that affection. And so she actually missed having the cancer because, she wasn't getting the buy-off anymore from it. And I can't remember if the cancer came back or not, but in situations like that, they might. It could come back. So I want to share with you a little bit out of a book because not everyone is ready to be healed, and you may not be either. And I think if you are still in this challenge, I think there's a great possibility that you are ready to have more peace of mind, to reduce stress, to draw closer to God, to find inner healing. But that's not the case. And so when we can answer that question in the affirmative, it means that we are really going to take more responsibility for our healing. So I want to share with you a little bit out of this book. The title of this book is called Love, Medicine, and Miracles, and it is by Bernie Siegel. And Dr. Siegel is a surgeon. And many, many years ago, he was ready to give up his practice of being a surgeon because he was operating on people, but these people weren't getting any better. He was just working on body parts, but people weren't being healed. They weren't being made whole, and he was cutting them up, and then later on, I don't know, but they weren't getting well. And then he stumbled upon meditation. Go figure. Meditation and other natural healing modalities that he began to incorporate in his practice. And guess what happened? People started to heal. Because not only was he, cutting out the bad part, he was introducing a whole mind, body, emotion healing practice that looked at the whole man and healing the whole man. And so anyway, he wrote this book, and in this book he said, and I want to share this with you, this goes back to my topic of do you want to be made whole? And here's what he found out. I'm going to read this to you. He found out that there are 3 types of patients. Okay? So the first patient, the first kind of patient is 15 to 20% of all patients who consciously or unconsciously don't want to get well. These are patients who, on some level, they're like, oh my gosh, if they, I'm so happy that I got this disease because I'm just ready to check out. Life is just too hard. This is my exit ticket. And so these people are going, they're going to be reluctant to make any types of changes towards getting better. And when we know this, if you know this as a doctor or healing professional, and you're working with patients, you're like, why won't these patients follow through? Why won't they do this? Well, they could be in that 15 to 20% who really don't want to get better. They've got some huge payoff for it, or maybe they're just ready to check out. Then there's the largest group, and that is the 60 to 70% of the population. And these are the people who, let me find it right here. They are like actors auditioning for a part. They perform to satisfy the physician. They act the way they think the doctor wants them to act, hoping that then the doctor will do all the work and the medicine won't taste bad. My screen keeps going now. They'll take their pills faithfully and show up for appointments. They will do what they are told unless the doctor suggests radical changes in their lifestyle. But it never occurs to them to question the doctor's decisions or strike out on their own by doing things for themselves that just feel right. These are the people who, given a choice, would rather be operated on than actively work to get well. So these are those people that just want you to fix them. These are the people who have negative in my case. These would be the people who have all this inner pain. They struggle with negative thoughts. They have depression, and they just want to go to the doctor, and they want the doctor to give them a pill and fix them, but they don't want to work on their thought lives. They don't want to put some systematic things in place to keep their mind healthy and restored, because that's just going to take too much effort. Just give me a pill, give me some antidepressant, give me this, give me that. And that's where most people lie. And so when you're in that, you're not really going to make the effort, take the responsibility to get well. Because you want somebody to fix you. And then there's the third group. And this is probably you guys, because you haven't dropped out yet. You haven't realized, you're like, okay, I'm ready to put some effort in here. All right, so the third group is the other 15 to 20%. And, okay, so let me read you this one. At the other extreme are the 15 to 20% who are exceptional. They refuse to play the victim. When acting out that role, patients cannot help themselves, for everything is being done to them. So the exceptional patient will not play the victim. They're going to educate themselves, and they're going to be specialists in their own care. They are going to become their own healers. And that is what this starting point of this challenge is to show you can become your own healer. You don't have to wait for the therapist. You don't have to wait for the pills. You are learning some tools right now, just in this challenge, to get you started. So when things show up in your life, you don't have to wait 3 months for an appointment. You can start now to find that thought. You can start now to pay attention, to connect with your inner spirit, to connect with your emotions, to know that, there's I feel like this sensation in me that's making me very, very angry, and I can work on that because I am learning the tools on how to do that. And so this group of people, they are going to seek out, they are going to find ways to get better, and they are going to become their own healers. And when they do see someone like me, and I tell them, I want you to do a thought inventory. I want you to write your thoughts down for the next hour and see, what kind of repetitive negative thoughts that you have. You're going to do that, and then you're going to possibly follow that up with some other things that I'm going to suggest to help you to begin to take those thoughts captive and not be a victim. I want to say one last thing before I close here. And this makes me so sad because there's some groups on Facebook. There's a couple, and there's 2 groups in particular that I'm thinking about. Don't join these groups, please. And they're Christians who suffer from depression, stress, and anxiety. And between these 3 groups, there's 6,000 members. So if you want to tell me Christians aren't depressed. Christians don't have stress and anxiety. You're living on another planet. and and if you also want to tell me to just go tell those people to go pray about it, yeah, you're living in an alternate world, okay? Because, prayer can work. But sometimes we need more. This video's getting too long. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, if I go in these groups, they're the saddest things I ever heard, because basically it's just a lot of people sympathizing for one another. They're just writing in there, writing about how depressed they are, and this is what happened to me today. And it's just one long message, pity party message after the other. And I can guarantee you, in that group, these people are going to fall into these three categories. If I were to post something on there and say, I can help you recover from your depression in 30 days, they're going to be that 20%. They just want to wallow in the misery. They just want to go on there and just share all the horrible things happening in their life and never do anything about it because they got some payoff. Then there's that middle group that will be like, this is too much work. I don't want to have to monitor my thoughts. I don't want to have to change how I'm thinking. I don't want to have to do stop that thought. I don't want to have to do that. And then there's the other group that are going to be, what, 30 days? And they're going to join it. They're going to do the 10-day challenge, and then they're going to set up their spiritual self-care routine, and I'm going to hear back from them in like whatever amount of time, and like, Rhonda, this changed my life. God bless you. And that's where I want you guys to be, because you don't have to play the victim. You don't have to be the victim. You can be your own healer, and that's what I'm trying to teach you how to do. So I'm not even sure what today's meditation is, because I did this before I looked, but please don't forget to comment. We overcome by our testimonies. We help other people. We let people know that hope is real and available. And so please answer the questions, do the comment, and let me know how you like this video. Let me know where you fit in the 3 types of patience. Which one are you? And are you ready to take responsibility for your healing? Bye guys, have a great day. Love you all.